Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jack Geep here, and welcome to part 2 of what I call this series again. I think it was What If Deku Was a Human Dino Hybrid. Anyway, let's get back into it. So, if I remember correctly, we left off with Izuku saying that he will join the League of Villains. And then, after he said that, All For One and the Doctor show up out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, out of the room, but that's not important. Anyway, All For One then said, perfect. Because the Doctor has a little experiment he would like to test out. The Doctor then says, it's supposed to be a copy of All For One's quirk, All For One. But I haven't been able to test it out yet. And I think you, Mr. Midoriya, would be a great role for it. Hello, I'm Sean Connery. I'm sorry, I just don't know why I sounded like Sean Connery at that point. Anyway. Izuku follows the Doctor to his lab. The Doctor then puts sleeping gas on Izuku, knocking him out. And afterwards, the Doctor said, impressive. It nearly took an entire tank of sleeping gas to knock the boy out. He's a strong kid. Hopefully, he'll be stronger with this quirk. Well, technological quirk, to be exact. As the Doctor begins to give Izuku the copy of All For One. The quirk. Anyway, after the experiment, All For One, the Doctor, and Izuku come out of the lab. And Todoroki reaches out her hand and says, let's see if this works. Izuku touches her hand, and green energy starts flowing not only around Izuku, but around Shota. My throat was doing something. Anyway. After the green energy was done, Shota used used her quirk both sides and said, guess it doesn't work. But that's when the finds Shizuku with one hand in front of him. His pinky finger and ring finger covered in ice, while the middle finger, index finger, and thumb are lit on fire. And the doctor says, let me get back to the Sean Connery voice. Interesting. It seems to be not a quirk stealing quirk, but rather a quirk copying quirk. I'll have to run some tests to see how long the effects are. Izuku then says, can I do one quick thing first? All for One then said, sure. Izuku walks up to Shota, puts his hand on Shota's scar, turns his hand completely into ice, and then after a couple of minutes, takes his hand off to reveal Shota's scar completely healed. The doctor then says, that is mighty impressive. I have been trying all of my life, well, all of her life, for the moment she got here, to try and heal that wound. And you managed to do that in about 5 to 7 minutes. Impressive. I'm Quarterman. I'm sorry. But props to you if you get that reference. Anyway. So, Izuku and the doctor go back to the lab to run a few tests. And Shota just touches her left side. Her left cheek. All for One then goes, oh, it seems you are developing feelings for the new recruit. And Shota goes, what? No, I'm not. No, sorry, wrong voice. What? No, I'm not. All for One that says, yes, you are. Kurogiri then says, yes, you are. Shigaraki then says, yes, you are. And then the doctor from across the room says, yes, you are. And Shota says, okay, alright, maybe. But I don't know. Okay? So, what's the game plan, sir? Shigaraki then says, the game plan is quite simple. We make you a UA trader. We of course will need to make you look a bit different. But with that scar removed, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. The doctor should be able to help with the rest. And like on cue, the doctor and Izuku come forward. Will enter the room. And the doctor then says, good news, everyone. It seems that the quirk I put in Midoriya doesn't just copy the quirk. It also advances it to the highest point, which is why Shota's scar is gone. And then Izuku says, yeah, not only that whoever used my quirk gun, I can permanently copy their quirk. And since it gets upgraded to the max, it soon then becomes my quirk. Shigaraki then says, alright, let's begin, shall we? Shota takes the entrance exam. And dons a new look with yellow hair and of course no scar. She passes the exam with flying colors. She then accidentally bumps into Endeavor, who just says, watch it, kid. And under her breath, Shota says, you watch it, you horrible excuse for. And then the doctor comes up to drop her, to take her home. And while on the drive there, the doctor then says to Shota, "So, when are you going to admit to your feelings to Midoriya?" And Shota says, "Well, I know that they're there, but I can't be certain about how I feel. Plus, I'm not even sure if he feels the same way. So I'll have to keep it bottled up until further notice." And the doctor then says, "Don't worry, young child. Trust me. Love is a pretty weird thing." Back at the League of Villain hideout, Shigaraki is talking to Kurogiri and Izuku. And Shigaraki then says, Hey, Midoriya. Yeah. Are you ever going to admit your feelings to Shota?" And Midoriya just goes, What? I don't have feelings for her." Kurogiri goes, "Yes, you do." Wait, that's the wrong words. Kurogiri goes, "Yes, you do." Shigaraki, "Yes, you do." All for one the back. "Yes, you do." And Izuku go, Okay, I do. But I can't be too sure about it. I mean, this is the first person I've ever liked in a really long time. Plus, look at me. I look like something from a horror, sorry. Let me run that back. I mean, look at me. I look like something from an old, bad horror movie. I mean, how could anyone fall for this? I'm just not sure if she'll like me as I am. And Kurogiri says, "You'll never know until you give it a shot." And Shigaraki says, "He's right. Sometimes you just gotta go for it." The doctor and his third Shota the arrive and say, and Shota says, "The plan is set in motion. But unfortunately, that's where I'm gonna leave it off. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, boom, slap the like button across the face. Catch you next one, guys. Laters.